Warning, if you might be offended by foul language or off-color jokes, now is the time to kindly fuck off.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Londoner Calling Pubcast. My name is Ben Drabick. As always, I'm joined with Barry Tate. Barry, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm ready, and that's it. I'm ready.
Hell yeah, you're ready. Yeah, we got a great episode today. We're going to talk a little about the Premier League finally being back after international break. Great weekend slate, some big results, big moves on the table. Liverpool taking back over that top spot. We also have Niki Foster, a Leeds fan, coming on, and he's going to talk about his journey with Leeds and a little bit about Leeds right now, because if you think the Premier League title race is fun, the Championship is damn near as good. Let's start with the Premier League. Let's go back there. Newcastle 4, West Ham 3. West Ham led 3-1 in this game until a Newcastle penalty in the 77th minute made it 3-2. Again, questionable VAR decisions. The big story from this one was Calvin Phillips came on when West Ham were 3-1 up and they lost.
He's not doing that good. I like the fella.
He got a penalty called on him that...
Again, they said it was a bit harsh.
Yeah. And then also, I don't know if you saw this, but he was getting a lot of abuse walking onto the bus, and he actually flipped off West Ham fans getting on the bus. Nothing. I don't blame him.
I think you should. I mean, even if you're not abusing it, I think
They're
you should
humans.
flip off a West Ham fan anyway.
That's a fair point. That's a good point. I just thought I feel bad for the guy. I mean, to go from such a high at Leeds, getting the move to Man City in the England squad to not.
He's only on loan though. They haven't bought him. Which I don't think they're going to buy him.
And then Man City will sell him to probably Leeds if
maybe
Leeds come back up. Yeah, if he wants.
But he is a Leeds kid, isn't he? He was a Leeds fan. He was born there and that. So
no, he was actually going to leave Leeds a year before he left for Man City, and his grandma was the one that told him, one more year, like you have to do one more year at this, like you have to help them, like stay, like they need you. So yeah, he is through and through. We can move on. Do you want to talk about the Chelsea game? Do you want to just breeze by it?
Why would we not talk about it?
Because you really... Okay, I didn't know if you'd want to talk about it, depending on how it went. You picked up a point against Burnley.
We didn't pick it up. We fucking won a point.
You won a point against... Well, actually, you dropped 2 because you were up twice, and you were a man up from the 40th minute onwards.
No, you're right. Let's not talk about it.
All right, yeah, moving on. Sheffield, speaking of teams we should not talk about, Sheffield United, 3-1 up against Fulham. Funny enough, they were 4-1 up until a goal got VAR'd. So 3-1 up. They lead in the 85th minute. They're up 3-1, and the game ended 3-3.
I didn't see
the game,
I didn't
and the game ended 3-3.
I've been so busy. I've been helping my son move.
It was so fun. I actually texted my friend.
Talking about, I've got to go. I'm going to tell you this. Sorry.
Yeah. No, go.
So I'm helping my son move.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we've had to go out. He needed a new mattress.
Okay.
Okay. You see the price of mattresses? You go to mattress. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, he decides he gets one of these memory foam.
Oh, he's getting an expensive mattress.
I said to him, for fuck's sake, half the slags you fucking been with, why do you want a memory? You don't, do you? You want to forget the fuckers.
Yeah,
no,
memory foam, yeah.
He still bought it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you had a good time with your kid. Moving on, did you see the end of... Sorry, that was hilarious, man. Did you see the end of Bournemouth-Everton?
No, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you were working. So, Everton 1-1, and Bournemouth just whip a ball in. There's not even like a Bournemouth attacker in the box, and Seamus Coleman just lets it smack off him and go in the net.
Oh, did he?
And it's because he's such a legend for the club, and of all people for it to happen to, I do feel for him. I think Everton are still in a lot of trouble. They're falling more and more into trouble, dropping points, and the way they drop points and a result like that can be really crushing.
But I was looking at you talking about Burnley because I thought they were down more or less. Sometimes they're down, but
they're fighting.
Still,
They're fighting. They're still.
Yeah, but they could have left it till this week to fight. Now they had to start last week.
Yeah. Well, now they're slow. No, they won the game last week. They won last week too, or last game they played.
No, they tied with Chelsea.
No, 2 before the international break. They won a game.
I fucking look at Burnley.
Yeah. Well, you should have a little bit harder considering the way they drew you. I will say this, so the big game of the weekend obviously was Arsenal-Man City, and that was
West Ham should be pissed with themselves.
Yeah?
Well, of course
they should.
Oh, yeah.
3-1 up. Yeah, well, they got Tottenham today. We're recording on Tuesday. They have Tottenham today, so hopefully they'll take it out there.
And they've already beat Tottenham.
They did beat Tottenham, yeah. Now they have to go to West Ham. Tottenham do, so this is a big game for them.
That's it.
We'll see.
Because we went to have a Tottenham fan on later today.
Yeah, we were.
And Alec Kettle.
Yeah.
And he's been because you're always so hard on Tottenham. He was the sensitive one.
I don't think we are.
You know, you've got the
defend
special
Spurs.
one.
Yeah.
Alec Kettle is the sensitive one.
Oh my goodness,
And
Alec,
he's
he's
been bitching
calling
and
you out.
moaning. And he said, so he's cancelled today.
Yeah.
And he said, don't slag me off.
Okay.
So I'm not going to slag him off.
No, we'll have him on sometime soon, and he
No,
can
we're
come
not.
on
No, we're
here,
not,
and
fucking prick.
he can gripe about how we treat Tottenham unfairly. I think I'm way more than fair to Tottenham because I still stood on it. I still think they're finished fourth, even though again Villa won this week, beating Wolves 2-0 convincingly.
But they've got Man City.
They do have
so
Man
that's
City
gonna be
though,
a
so
tough
that's
one,
it.
especially after Man
And
City's weekend result.
Spurs have a game in hand, but they're 3 points behind, so it's going to be again the whole tale is.
When you're a fan, when you get a game in hand, you think, well, we got them 3 points. You
No,
kind of, you
no.
do sometimes. You think, when we win them 3
Yeah.
points, we'll be above them. But you got to win it first.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
nice to be like, it's nice to sit back with that game in your
Yeah.
back pocket, but
Yeah.
it's different between playing it and having it, right? Man United Brentford, I gotta talk about. Brentford had 31 shots in this game, a Premier League record or something.
Chelsea are 10th or 11th
Yeah.
because that's where they deserve to be.
Yeah.
Man United do not
No.
deserve to be where they are.
No, they did
I
not
don't know
deserve
how
the goal.
Fuck, they did it.
No.
But they're up there.
They
And
have a goal
I'm
difference
still looking at Man United.
Yeah.
Because, we've had a shit season, Chelsea. As long as we finish above Man United, I'm happy, man.
Yeah, good
Just get
luck.
above Man United. That's all
You
I
gotta
ever
fight.
want to do.
You gotta scrap up
And,
there.
Yeah, but
No, but they will drop points. They have tough games coming up. We still have to play them on the road.
And I thought they looked like they were going to win it.
They did. Mount
Yeah.
nearly stole it. And again, Brentford had 31 shots. They didn't score until the 94th minute
Yeah,
or
the last
something.
kick,
So
whatever.
ridiculous. I will say this. In March, Man United played 4 games. They faced 106 shots across those 4 games. What they're doing is not sustainable. It will catch up to them. It's just...
Well,
I don't know.
it
It's
will
a
do
tough
on
time.
Thursday when they play Chelsea.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. It's Man United Chelsea week. It's going to be a fun one.
After the way that we... I
You
say
got-
you
you gotta
shouldn't.
respond.
To drop points against 10 men, not even just Burnley.
After
Burnley
leading
say
twice.
just Burnley, they're fighting for
Leading
their life.
twice, too.
Yeah, and to fight for 10 men, you shouldn't, but
No.
it happens. But we'll
It
make up
does.
for it.
Arsenal dropped points to a 10-man Fulham earlier this year.
Yeah.
Like, it does happen. We had the lead, too, so I can't sit here and say, like, oh, that doesn't happen. But agreed, like...
Actually, I had
the
to-
amount of time you had the extra man and the score line at the time, you would want more. I get that.
I had to go to the doctor's a couple of days ago.
Yeah?
Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm at the Friday, and I don't like taking tablets. I really don't. They give me tablets, and I don't
Yeah.
want to take. Can they give you so many?
Yeah.
At my age, you don't know what you're taking, and they all mix. Anyway, so
Just taking
I've been
them.
having trouble sleeping, so I went to the doctor,
Yeah.
and he gave me a recording of Man City Arsenal.
Oh, really?
Fucking! I was
Right
by
to
half
sleep?
time. I was gone.
It's all right. It's all right.
I
You
was
don't,
gone.
you don't appreciate the tactical genius right there.
Is that what it is? Tactical?
The thing for me, we're the first
How the fuck can
team...
you say tactical instead of boring?
Here's the thing. We're the
Hey,
first
only
team...
an Arsenal fan can say tactical.
May I? We're
Go
the
on.
first team to go to Man City and prevent them from scoring in 2.5 years. October 20. So here's the thing. I love that other fan bases who couldn't do what we did keep trying to tell us how to play Man City. And this is how you should play.
Because other teams go out there and they try and win. All you want to do is not let them score. And you're fucking happy with it.
I
Oh,
disagree.
we didn't let them score. What
I
about trying to fucking
I
win?
disagree. I disagree that we didn't try to score. I think that we were very selective in our moments going forward. We knew that we had to be defensively sound 24/7 that game because they're that good. You look at...
Yeah, the only
excuse me.
time I saw you lot going forward was when you're fucking walking off the pitch.
Yeah, disagree completely. We had to start by having a sound defense, and from there we could build forward. And yes, we will play Man City on the road differently than we play other teams. This is an Arsenal team, by the way. Oh, you're so boring. We have the most fucking goals in the Premier League, all right? So, like, let's miss me with this we're so boring shit.
Oh, it was just an off day?
No, not an off day.
I'll tell you what it was. You
It's not
shit
an off day.
yourself.
No,
Your
it's not.
manager shit
We shit
himself.
ourselves by
Your
drawing...
manager shit
We
himself.
shit ourselves by
Yeah.
drawing the treble
Yeah.
winners at their home stadium. You should shit yourself more often,
If
buddy.
you want to win the Premiership, go out and win.
If you want to win the Premiership, how's this? We beat Liverpool and Man City at home and took a point off of both of them at the road. 4 points out of 6 were against both of our title
Tell you
rivals
what,
this year.
everybody listening, he's fucking easy to wind up.
No, I'm not easy to wind up. I'm
Yes,
easy to
you
know
are.
when I'm right.
No,
I'm
no,
easy to
you're
know when
really
I'm right.
wind up. There
I
we
know
go.
when I'm right.
Fucking throw out that line, reel him in. I got him
We
hooked.
had to start defensively sound, and that's what we did. They did the same thing. Everyone wants us to open up and spread our legs for Man
Talking of the
City,
game,
and they're mad.
'cause I actually didn't get to watch the game.
Yeah.
I mean, because you saw me. I was
I
up
did,
in
yeah.
Addison.
I was up in Addison, yeah.
And
it was a
as much
blast.
as we get people on here talking about Addison and the pub there,
Oh,
but
man.
that's the first time you've been there for
That
a
was,
game
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it's tough for me to make it with games, obviously working a lot of the games on the
Yeah.
ticker, or also just like most games are super early in the day, and if I get a weekend day off, it's difficult to 6 a.m. want to go somewhere, right? But this was the first time I got to go to Addison, and it was incredible. I'm talking, there was the Man City room that was packed. I got to run into Russell. Russell, great seeing you again if you're still listening out there, man.
He only listens when he's
Yeah,
on. He don't listen.
yeah. I saw Samir there as well, so I got to run into him and just packed wall to wall, and everyone's singing and cheering and chanting, and the atmosphere. It really is.
Could you hear the Man City fans when they were singing? You couldn't score in a brothel.
Yeah. We heard them singing. We've got the ball. We heard them singing their Blue Moon chants. It was so back and forth, and we're singing our chants.
It's a great atmosphere.
And it is an incredible atmosphere.
We could have filled that place twice over.
No, there was the line outside was incredible.
Well, one of the things as well in Addison this weekend, they didn't open a room upstairs, which they should have done, and they could have put a couple more TVs out in the patio. And we know the staff made a mistake on that one because when you get that many people, it's hard to get it all organised.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
like I said, I'm going to try to go there tomorrow. We play Luton at 1:30. I'm going to try to go there, have some lunch, and watch the game.
You can get there fucking 10 minutes after the game. You're playing Luton. You'll have about 4 of you there.
You say that, but it took us till the last minute of the game to beat Luton last time we played them. But just the
atmosphere there, you wouldn't think you was in Dallas.
Well, then the other thing, too, that I always like to speak on, too, on every episode, and I know I probably repeat myself a little too much on this, but to find so many people that just have that same interest as you, it's just this sense of security and safety of just like I go in there and I know that everyone there loves the same thing.
There are some
and we're all
bars
going
that
for the
just
same
have
goal.
one supporters group there.
Yeah.
And I get it. I think the Tottenham fans go to not all of them. I mean, we get Tottenham fans, but there's the bulk of them. They go to a place.
Yeah. I remember our guest messenger. Yeah.
And but they forget, they miss out when there's a game like that and you've got both sets of supporters there. The atmosphere. If you just needed a goal, just for any fan, it would have erupted. I think it didn't.
And then also, I'll say this too. You're saying Arsenal said Man City had one shot on target. Why are we? And they were at home. Why are we the ones getting pumped for not trying to play?
Because they're champions. They can do what they want. They won it.
They didn't get to.
You need to win it. I mean, if they don't win it this year, they've had it 10 times over the last 11 years, or God knows what it is. So you lot need it because you haven't had it since fucking 1892. I don't know.
And again, I think it was really important that we did not lose that game. I wanted to win, but the worst case scenario would be a loss.
You wanted to win, but your team didn't. That's the difference.
I disagree. I disagree completely. I think that we went
I've got
for
him
it.
Twice today. He's fucking bit.
I just disagree. I just respectfully disagree. All right, and welcome into the interview segment of our episode today. Today we are joined with Leeds fan Niki Foster. Niki, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Barry, what do you know about Leeds coming into this?
They were the dirtiest fucking team ever to fucking play the game.
Sorry, that was a freebie.
No, I'm telling you, they were. And he wasn't born then. I don't think Billy Bremner. I know you know of them.
Of course
Jack
know
Charlton,
them.
Billy Bremner,
No.
Norman Bites Your Legs. Why couldn't it be Norman Bites Your Bollocks? That sounded better, wouldn't it?
That would have been a really... I don't know if you...
Would you have liked that?
Well, I might change my name to Norman and keep it.
Would you want that nickname?
What, Norman Bites Your Bollocks?
Yeah, would you want Bites
I'm
Your
short
Bollocks
enough.
attached to your
I'm
name?
short enough. I could have done it.
It's true.
Anyway,
Niki, how did you get into Leeds? How did you become a Leeds fan?
Yeah, I was born in Leeds. So I've been following them basically forever, And my dad was a fan, but never really went to watch many games. But yeah, I can probably start remember following them. George Graham. This was kind of the 90s. And then obviously going through all the whole Champions League story there, and that fantastic team that unfortunately got destroyed, and then through the really dark years of 16 years of shit, and then the Bielsa years, and and then another couple of years of shit. So it's
a roller coaster.
It's a roller. There's ups and downs as we say.
Do you get many people? I'm sure there's not many that actually live in Leeds. Because if you live in Leeds, you more or less got to support Leeds. But do you get many that live in there, but they decide to follow Huddersfield or
not Huddersfield,
Sheffield United? Well, I couldn't think of anyone.
Follow Sheffield United.
No, I think during the dark years, and we're talking like 2002, 2003 until Bielsa came in 2018, there was such a low level of. It got to a point where there's such a low level of interest. We had Bates. The ownership was a mess. Multiple owners were a mess. Thanks for that. I think during those periods where there was just, there was no ambition at all. They didn't want to. The owners didn't seem to want us to get promoted. And Bates, especially that particular era. I think there was definitely some. We lost a generation. I would say, a whole generation of fans who you'd normally be Leeds fans went to supporting Man City or Arsenal or Liverpool or one of the other more successful teams at the time, Chelsea. And so I think definitely during that time there was probably a loss of interest and the fans, unfortunately. But I think that's all changing now. A lot of things, well, not just now, like since 2018, basically, since Bielsa started, since we were good, and since there was ambition behind the club and behind the ownership.
Who I know Bielsa. Was he the one that actually brought Leeds out of that shit time, or did someone before him actually get it going and he came in and helped it?
There was Gary Monk the season before.
One minute. You're meant to be asking these fucking questions.
I was going to let you speak. I have it all written down. I'm waiting to chime in, but I was going to let you guys go. I'm not going to interrupt. Trust me, I've got my stuff ready.
You're doing a good job. It's fine, right?
I'm ready. Trust me, I'm ready to contribute.
Look at the camera. Blank fucking stare, sitting there like that, and he's ready.
Buddy, I'm ready.
What was the question?
Who was before Bielsa? So the year before Bielsa, there was Gary Monk, little snake that Gary Monk was. And then we got who was the Sheffield United manager that got promoted with them?
Chris Wilder?
No,
not the old boy. He's been everywhere.
I can't remember his name. But we did have some people who maybe kind of stabilised it a little bit more. I think Monk finished. I think he was 7th when the last season before he left. So we were close. We were getting better. But then the season after that, we finished 13th, and then everything changed. And Bielsa came and. He turned a mediocre middle of the table team into just one of the most.
Did he run them to the ground as in fitness wise?
Oh yeah,
because you have to be super fit.
He's known for that. His pre-seasons were known to be the most rigorous.
Yeah, but maybe you can do that in other leagues, other divisions. But the Premiership, unless you've got a deep squad, I would imagine it's hard to keep everyone.
I mean, to be fair, off the jump, it did work when you came in. They finished top half of the table when you got promoted to the Premier League back in 2020.
Yeah, then they got knackered.
Yeah, and so here's the thing with Bielsa. So Bielsa came in, and he turned fairly mediocre players, people like Calvin Phillips. I mean, we look at the Calvin Phillips Bell graph right now. He's on his way down, and I'm a big believer that Bielsa basically changed so many of these players. Stuart Dallas, Liam Cooper, Luke Ayling, all these players. They even Patrick Bamford. Did you see the Bamford miss yesterday? He brought all these really Bamford maybe not mediocre, but he brought these players who basically finished 13th the season before. A few additions. Not we didn't spend hundreds of millions or anything like that, but he changed them into. Was the first season we had Bielsa, we finished 3rd. The playoffs killed us as usual, and then the next season, the season of COVID, that's when we finished 1st. And honestly, some of the best football I've ever seen us play in any league at any time was under Bielsa.
Is he the same kind of football as Big Ange plays?
No.
I'm only asking.
You know what? No. Well, no. So. I do see similarities with him because he is very much attacking.
He laughed at me.
I don't see Leeds playing nearly as high of a line defensively as Tottenham play at all. I think defensively they're both different.
They don't play high at Tottenham. They've got a shorter pitch. It seems like they're playing.
Chelsea versus Tottenham. They stood on the midway line when they were men down.
We're not talking Chelsea. Okay, no one mentioned Chelsea.
Oh wow!
Actually, you did
after this weekend. Yeah.
All right, we nicked a point off of Burnley. Don't worry about that.
Oh jeez.
Carry on.
So I would agree with you. I actually think Ange would have been a really good replacement for Bielsa. One of the main issues I think the season before we went down. Was when we sacked Bielsa, which, you can make a decision, there's reasons to do that and there's reasons maybe not to do it, but it happened, was who we brought in to replace him. We tried to get the guy who's Areola at Bournemouth. He didn't want to come, and there was multiple. Well, he was in a contract, so he couldn't come. There was multiple managers they tried to bring in. One of them we were about to bring him in, and then all the fans went, "Why, this guy is terrible," and they reversed the decision. So it was a complete mess. And then we brought in Jesse Marsh, and
because he came from an Austrian team, didn't he?
He originally was at Salzburg, and then he went to Leipzig because they're both owned by Red Bull. So he basically got promoted there to a bigger league, and then he went to Leeds following that.
What went so wrong once he got there?
He's a vibes guy.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, he is, and so I don't really understand the idea behind bringing in Jesse Marsh, and whether Jesse Marsh is a good manager or a bad manager. People will have their own opinions on that. But to follow Bielsa with Jesse Marsh made zero sense. Yeah. Right? We had one of the fittest teams in the league. Our main issue was man marking. Bielsa loved to man mark, and we talked about it, right? Bielsa was very stubborn. He didn't want to change his ways. That's fine. It works definitely for a period of time with Bielsa. But to bring in Jesse Marsch and to change the entire way that you play to fit what Jesse Marsch wanted to do, which was basically get it to the goal as quickly as possible. There wasn't a lot of kind of thinking in the tactics, in my opinion. Just get it to the goal as quickly as possible. It just made no sense. And so I think that was if they got rid of Bielsa and then said, okay, we're going to go after Ange, that would have made sense to me, because the playing is very similar. He loves to attack. He plays a high line, just like Bielsa did. Like, he will attack, which is very much what Bielsa would do. So I think that
You
would
said
have been...
he preferred man marking?
Bielsa did, yes.
Well, that's actually in Leeds' DNA. Chelsea have got players who can still show the marks from the 60s. I told you, they were dirty. I'm telling you.
I do think Ange would have made sense now seeing him at Tottenham following Bielsa. I just don't think that comparably to the way y'all are playing today. I don't see the Ange style today. Yeah, that's what I was responding to earlier. I do want to go back a little bit and talk about those dark days for a little bit. I hate to take you there, but
no.
I feel like it's a story that not many people fully know. So let's go back to 2001 and the club.
He calls them dark days. We don't.
Yeah,
I fucking love them. It's a fairy tale.
You love them days.
Tap dancing on the ceiling, man.
Yeah, they were spending all their oil money, weren't they? It was great.
Yeah. So speaking of spending money, Leeds spent a lot of money that they banked on will qualify for Champions League with, right?
Basically, yeah.
Was that O'Leary era?
O'Leary era, yeah. Peter Ridsdale, he was the chairman. We just kept buying these great players, it was like, we're going to get Robbie Fowler today, and
no problem.
Yeah, no, but like,
30 odd million, not my money.
Okay, but we've got Matt Verdugan, we've got Alan Smith already. Okay, I guess we're going to do that, and so then Rio Ferdinand. Okay, Rio Ferdinand was about the only player we made money on.
I was going to say Rio was the first real sign of financial struggle, because not only did you sell him, but where you sold him to.
Correct.
Obviously, Man United, the rivalry. As a fan, seeing one of your center backs go to a rival, how did that feel? Just like livid or what?
It felt better than seeing Alan Smith go to Man United. I know that because he was the poster child of Leeds. He was from Leeds, and he's from Rothwell. So seeing him go hurt. Rio Ferdinand, I think, hurt more because he was so fucking good.
Yeah.
Right. Rio Ferdinand back then, 2001, 2002. I have not seen a defender as good as him, in my opinion. Since then, he was phenomenal, and we had him, we had Lucas Radaby, we had Johnny Woodgate. And so, he went. We got really good money for him. We bought him for 18 million, sold him for like 35, I think it was. So we made good money. Back then, that was
a ton of money.
Big money.
This is like early 2000s. So like, mind you, this is not Neymar era transfer money.
No, this is
30 mil is like high.
I think at the time it was the highest price for any defender. I think
so too.
So he went, but at the end of the day, when he went, it was like, okay, well, that's bad. But we've still got these good players too. But then it was the fire sale which came after that, which kind of really hurt. One of my favourite players back then was Lee Bowyer. I don't know if you know Lee Bowyer.
He was a little shit in midfield.
He was a little shit, and I fucking loved him.
Oh.
During the Champions League, like that Champions League when we got to the semi-final, he was actually going through a court case for assault in Leeds. That's this is one of the whole story behind Leeds' downfall is actually really interesting. But he was going through a court case. And he'd go to court and he'd come and play for Leeds against Anderlecht or something like that, and he'd just every single game he'd be fantastic. He'd be playing amazing. Now I think he got into the England squad for a short time, but then the problem is the season after that famous semi-final against Valencia where we lost. We didn't get into the top. I think it was top 3 back then for the Champions League.
Yeah,
we didn't get into the top 3 to get in. And he was just the top 3 at that point, and they banked on it. The whole strategy that Peter Ridsdale had done around the financial side of things, which is actually fairly common these days, but back then less so. It was terrible.
It was betting on Champions League qualification.
Correct,
Basically,
exactly.
he was making moves financially with the assurance of I'll have a Champions League budget coming in, and then he didn't.
Exactly, and that didn't happen.
Well behind the 8 ball.
And then I think a lot of teams knew we were in financial trouble, and so we were like fire sailing these players off. If it was a normal season, you'd get a lot more for like Lee Bowyer.
Oh, yeah, 30 mil for Ferdinand.
Ferdinand was. That's what I'm saying. He was good, but Lee Bowyer went for pittance. He didn't go for a lot of money at all. Harry Kewell was cheap. He went to Liverpool, right? He didn't go for very much. And Woodgate went to Newcastle, I think, at the time, right? So
he was promised that they wouldn't sell him too. He was the one that told your fans we will not sell Jonathan Woodgate.
That was the one I think which made people go, oh shit,
trouble.
we're in trouble here.
Because they promised y'all, didn't
Yeah.
they? They told the whole
Yep.
fan base, he will not be sold, do not worry.
Yep.
Sold.
Yeah, and so
If I got into money trouble, I'd sell my fucking kids, me. I got no scruples. I got no scruples. Say what the fuck you got. Okay?
You wouldn't
it's
even
all
tell.
about you.
that would have been easy than
it's
selling
all
Lee
right,
Bowyer
yeah.
to me, man. I'm telling you.
And sold your kizzy for him.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love that guy.
I love that. But anyway, so we go forward 2003, 2004, relegated.
Relegation, yep.
We go into the championship, and then 2007, relegation looming. Go into administration, 10-point deduction. What was it like as a fan to fall from the graces from that all the way to the third tier? What was it like following Leeds in the third tier?
Well, it was awful, and it was worse because every single time we're on TV, there would be 3 years ago they were playing Champions League football,
Yeah,
and then,
the
it's just
What
flashback.
division did you
constantly.
drop to? Obviously, you got the champion. Did you
League-
go below that?
Yeah,
They
down
went
to League One in the end.
League
So
One's the lowest they were ever at, and they were there for how long again?
3 years.
Yeah.
3 years. Yeah. So we got relegated the first year when we got relegated from the Premier League. We had Kevin Blackwell as manager. We had no players at all, so it was a complete rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we did okay. We got into the playoffs. We got hammered by Watford 3-0 in the playoffs.
Yeah, I remember that in the semis.
And then we brought in Dennis Wise as manager, and that was, Dennis Wise, Chelsea,
Yeah, yeah.
Chelsea Leeds were big. There's a
He
big.
always used to kiss players on the field, Dennis Wise. He'd get into a tackle, they'd get up and he'd kiss them on the cheek. I've seen him kiss so many players on the
Seriously.
That's good, 'cause
It's
he
all,
pisses them
it's
off.
all,
Oh,
yeah, it's all mental, right?
That's such a mental move. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
And so we got relegated under Dennis Wise. Actually, we got Ken Bates tried to be clever.
Yeah.
He tried to go into administration after we were already down. Got a -10 deduction in that season. And then the next season in League One, because of what Bates had tried to do, we then got another -15 season. So that was actually the season I got a season ticket, because that's when I could afford a season ticket.
Yeah, why not?
So I was in League One, I could afford it
A little
now.
bit cheaper with a League One 15-point deduction
He
ticket.
could afford
yeah.
season tickets and half the stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one wanted to watch them.
No, that's what it was like back then. And this is what you said, 2006, 2007. So I was like 23, 24 years old.
Yeah.
So I saw the 3 years we were in League One. I watched basically every single game. And yeah, it was actually the -15 season. We won. I think we won our first 5 games. So we got rid of the 15
Just off the jump, yeah.
immediately, and it was a good season, great season. We finished in the playoffs. Again, we lost to Doncaster 1-0. I went to that game. I think that was that season.
At Wembley.
Watford, Doncaster, you lose the big fucking team.
Oh
don't you?
mate, it's any team and Derby, the other one, and then the third. I think it was the third season. We were in there 2 years, 2 or 3 years. I can't remember.
It was
now,
2011 you were promoted back to the
Okay,
championship.
so there you go. Yeah, so it was the third year, and I was at the game when he got promoted. One of the most.
How was the atmosphere of that day? Like
Oh,
in the stadium?
insane! Absolutely.
And did you
insane.
like a draw or a win, or were you already up basically? You knew.
We needed to win. It was
Okay.
actually, and I've skipped a year because the second year we got beat by Millwall in the playoffs. Millwall.
Yeah.
And so the third year,
and they lost the fight in the stands. Hey,
I think I actually went to that game. There was a few games I went to with Millwall that was always.
you know about Millwall, don't you? Their reputation.
Yeah,
the
I've
fans,
heard
and,
of it.
I mean,
Scrap, yeah.
Leeds are very well known for being really well
They are.
behaved, and
Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to say Leeds. Leeds
That's what I'm saying.
the culture club over
Yeah,
here, setting the behavior
Exactly,
example
yeah,
for
exactly.
everybody. Of
Culture
nothing
club
but
like that.
yeah.
So that last game of the season we were playing Bristol Rovers. We needed to win. I think it was Norwich and Millwall were the other two, which were trying to go for those top 2 spots. And we went 1-0 down. Max Gradle, a player I used to love, he got sent off.
Yeah.
So we were down to 10 men and 1-0 down. Second half came, brought on Johnny, can't remember his second name. Johnny Howson. Brought Johnny House on. He scored a goal within like 5 minutes, and then right at the end, Beckford finished. I think it was like 7 minutes ago. He finished and scored the second goal, and the whole place was incredible.
Just electric.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
how old are you, Ben?
Me, 25.
How old are you?
Jesus. 40.
Huh?
40. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I don't look 40, right? But
Well,
I don't
that's
look
right.
25. I don't
No,
look
you don't.
25. It's cool. I don't look 25. It's all good.
it's all good. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So then we go into the Salino era. Can you talk about that?
I'm in the
It was
60s if you
nuts.
want to know, because none of you fucking asked me.
I didn't think you wanted to say your age.
we assumed you.
It's just
How old are you,
politeness.
Barry?
I'm not going to fucking tell you. Nosy fucker.
In the 60s at least, then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And then I'm not going to tell you after telling us you're in your 60s. Anyways, the Salino area, he was crazy.
He was nuts. He was nuts.
Talk about that.
So Bates
3-year period or year period, whatever.
Bates sold to I can't remember the name of the ownership. There was some
New ownership
Dubai
group,
Dubai ownership group, and they were the only like people in like the Middle East that didn't have money. And so they bought him off Bates. They were terrible for a couple of years, and then Cellino came in and we're like, oh, okay, we got this Italian guy.
He was good though. I mean, I saw on one. They were on. Were they on All or Nothing Leeds? Or was there a documentary I saw?
There's a documentary.
But it was All or Nothing, same series.
I don't think it was All or Nothing.
It wasn't All or Nothing.
It wasn't Amazon.
I like the Italian,
but that was
on film. I don't know what it was.
No, but he wasn't on film. That was the Bielsa time when he.
No, I meant the owner.
Salino?
I'm talking about the owner. Who owned it?
Oh no, that was Redrizzani. When it was Redrizzani, he was the other Italian guy. So we had another Italian guy prior to Redrizzani, a guy called Cellino. Okay. He's owned a number of different football clubs. He owns an Italian football club, and
he's crazy.
He smokes, he's drinking, he's like. He is just a bit of a crazy guy.
All
like
the players used to do that when I used to watch Chelsea.
Well,
Yeah.
Even
Even into some
Shag.
We had Chesney at Arsenal. I don't know if you remember. There's a big scandal. He got caught smoking in the shower after a game, and he was dropped immediately.
Wow.
Yeah, so that goes into somewhat modern times too.
Yeah, but maybe it's a bit different when the chairman's doing that
maybe it is a
stuff,
little
and he's
different.
like, "Hey guys," he's some of the stories that you kind of hear. It was, and look, he did a lot for the club from a financial perspective. He cut a lot of things. Mm-hmm. There's stories about him like draining the swimming pool, having the players make their own lunch. Instead of, they're normally coming in, there's like chicken and pasta. And
of course. It's like a buffet for the players,
yeah, exactly.
right?
No, they had to bring in their own lunches at times. This is kind of level it got to.
Yeah.
But him doing that did maybe make the club more sellable. And that's when Radrizzani came in. The other Italian. And he had his faults, but from an ownership perspective, from having Bates to the Abu Dhabi or Dubai group, and then Cellino, finally we had somebody who was at least had ambition, wanted to get us promoted.
Yeah, it seemed like it when I watched the documentary on him. Yeah, exactly. In front of the camera, you're a different person. I'm not this nice. I'm fucking nice.
He's way meaner to me off camera, guys. Don't worry.
You're way quieter than normal. But yeah, Redrizzani came in. He had some ambition about it. Spent some money. I think he was the one that brought in Bamford. I think it was like 7 million or something. His initial managers, they were like okay. The Gary Monks and the guy I can't remember who managed Sheffield United. But then the big turning point was 2017, 2018. We finished 13th. We had a director of football or technical director, whatever you want to call him, called Orta, and I think Radrizzani said to Orta, okay, if you could have any coach in the world, who would it be? And it was Orta that said, well, okay, let's go after Bielsa. And a lot of people hadn't heard of Bielsa, so when there was, because he's kind of like a coach's coach. He's very technical and really highly regarded around the world. But if you're a normal football fan that don't really follow
could he speak English? I think, did you have to have an interpreter?
Very small amount. Yeah, he did.
He had a translator for all his interviews. Yeah. He was so funny too, because I remember when he was in charge in the Premier League, he would literally go to interviews and be like, "This is my starting 11 for tomorrow, by the way," and like list out no other manager would ever show their hand like that. And he's like, "Yep, we're lining up with this defense, this midfield, this attack," and he would show up the next day and put those exact 11 players on the field. It's like. He was crazy in a way, a little bit. I mean, all managers are, aren't they? But he was a little more than most.
He definitely, and he's so detail oriented. In his eyes, he's like, there's no advantage with you knowing who my team is. Like, it doesn't matter. You probably know anyway.
Yeah.
So here it is, and he did that. He did that for I think I don't know, maybe 9 to 10 games.
Yeah, it was a fair chunk of games.
Then he was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this now.
Yeah.
Why did he squat down like he was taking a piss?
Yeah, he always sat on the cooler.
He's tell you what, he's got some. Well, either that or he'd be completely squatting down.
He must squat that long.
No, Jesus Christ, I
must
can't do
have
that.
Some good knees.
I don't know.
God, if I have to lean down to pick up something from the floor, it takes me 3 minutes to get back up.
And you make a noise when you get up when you get older.
Exactly.
You'll do it one day.
No, he would sit for like 90 minutes squatted.
Yeah.
I wish Jack Wilshere had those knees.
For
real, right?
So when this might be one of your questions. Let me know. Cut me off if it is.
Go for it.
So when you got promotion, apart from the fact is you're fucking shit, why did you go down? You didn't buy enough players, the right players, wrong manager?
All of those things, yeah. So I mean, I guess
What's going to be different this time?
If we get promoted. So there's a few things different. So, okay, what went wrong? Bielsa, I think Bielsa's, I've told you guys earlier, he's a hero of mine. I will forever adore him. But there were issues with the way he was playing, and maybe he got found out a little bit. Maybe the players got too tired. So that was an issue. And then we brought in probably the wrong manager. And Jesse Marsh, he changed the way they played. Okay, kept us up in the first season he came in.
Yeah.
By the skin of his teeth.
On the last day.
By the skin of his teeth.
He brought in a lot of Americans as well. How did you feel about the American takeover of the
There you
club?
go. There you go.
He
That's the
brought in
answer to my
McKinney,
question.
he was bringing in Jesse Marsh. Like, it was Aronson still there, right? Like,
Yeah.
So how'd you feel about that?
That was the second season, right? So he brings in Aronson. I actually have Aronson on the back of my shirt. That's
Yeah,
what
I think he's a good player.
I was really expecting him to be like super, really, really good. Started off really well.
Did McKenna go there for a while from
Yeah,
Juventus?
well,
McKinney,
he brought in
he was on
Aronson.
loan.
Who?
McKinney.
Yeah, Kevin alone. Yeah. So he brought in Aronson
That's right,
and he brought in Tyler Adams.
Yep.
Tyler Adams is a great player. He was the one that I really rated.
Yeah, he's at Bournemouth now.
Aronson just really weak. He gets
young.
pushed over too
He's
much.
young.
Yeah, he's still 20. He's 23, right? So he's got time to bulk up, but that's what I think he needs
He
to
needs
do.
to do it now, yeah.
And then McKenny, funnily enough, I actually live in Oak Cliff, so there's a painting of McKenny on the side of a building. So when they brought him in, I was like, oh cool, we're bringing in
the
McKenny.
Frisco kid, FC Dallas Academy, and
That's
all.
it,
He's at
exactly.
Juventus now. He was on
I was
loan. at
wondering
Gus-
why. I'm thinking, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I
no. So
forgot
he was
about that.
FC
Yeah.
Dallas Academy, and then obviously he's now gone on. He's at Juventus now again after being on
I
loan
think
with
why he
y'all.
brought a load of Americans in. If you look, I was watching something. The Welsh language, not language, but the Welsh people, when they talk, they sound like they're singing, and they're all known for good voices, but they got a lovely accent. The reason you brought all them Americans to go out in Yorkshire, they both got shit accents. Fucking the American and Yorkshire accent, it grinds. It fucking a horrible fucking accent. Anyway,
It says fucking land in there over there.
yeah, there you go.
It was funny because everyone was calling Leeds
Queen's English, we called
America's.
it. Queen's English.
Queen's fucking English.
It was America's
No,
team
not
for a
that
little
Queen.
bit when you had Marsh and McKenny and Aronson and Adams.
Yeah.
Like, you really were America's team because there's so many of them on your team.
and partly owned by an American consortium who now fully own us. And
Who owns it now?
49. Basically, it's a investment arm of the 49ers.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's not
So
bad.
yeah, we had this American. So that was maybe part of the issue. I mean, the original question was like, what went wrong? Well, Marsh, his tactics just didn't work. I don't think he kept the players fit enough. I think that was a big deal. Especially after you're used to Bielsa and then you get Marsh. He's like,
Yeah. Anything from Bielsa is going to be a drop.
yeah,
off, to be
exactly.
fair,
but
yeah.
there's levels, right? And I think we got
If
dropped
you're
to
bringing in a manager after Bielsa, you should bring a manager in that is going to play to the strengths of your squad. And I
Correct.
don't think that Marsh was bringing in tactics to do that specifically.
And then I think one of the big issues back then was we only had Orta, who was basically he ran, the transfer stuff, and so anybody we brought in, anybody we sold, he made the decision, and the owner looked to him to make those decisions, and he just made so many bad transfers and bad managers that it just it's one thing after the other. Some of the players we brought in, Christiansen, right back, he's playing for Roma now, but not doing great. Who else? Aronson, he's gone. We had Tyler Adams was a good buy.
Rutter was the most expensive.
Rutter,
transfer,
but he
popping
bought
off
Rutter in January. The January we got.
trying to save your season. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a great player. I love him to bits. But at the time, he was the wrong player, right? If
Yeah.
you'd have brought in a full proper number 9,
Yeah.
I can't
Because he
remember. Is
likes
it
to play
Gyorkas?
below.
Gyorkas at Coventry. He'd have been perfect if you'd have
Oh,
brought
he's
him
well,
in.
now he's
got
about to
number
go.
nines nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't you?
Yeah, Gyorkas, I think so. Like, if you'd have just had somebody to be that striker and maybe give Bamford a rest and just put him on the sidelines for a little bit, we may well have stayed up, right?
Yeah.
It was just so the transfers were a big deal. And then the second part of the question is what's different? Why if we get promoted this year, what's different? Well, there's a few things different. Fark, I really like what he's doing at Leeds. He's making it a bit of a machine. We just do this. It's not always the funnest to watch, because we take the ball, we have a lot of possession. It's not always, we're very, very patient. So it's not like Bielsa where we have a lot of possession and we're always trying to tack. He will take a few minutes and it'll slow it down a little bit. But I do like Fark. I'd be very interested to see Fark in the Premier League with a budget, because with Norwich he got relegated twice. He had no budget ever. And then the second part is we've completely changed. Orta's gone, the old ownership's gone, and we've brought in 3 or 4 different people, different positions, technical director, director of football, all this type of stuff, and the decisions that they're making on who to bring in and from a transfer perspective.
Are they becoming more professional behind the scenes?
100%. 100%. Yeah, and look, you can't just give it to one guy to make a decision on whether you're going to buy a $35 million.
That's how we run my pubs.
Right.
One bloke makes all the decisions.
I wonder who that is.
My daughter.
You're the author of the
My daughter.
And so we've got 3 or 4 people now in those positions, and it's a committee more rather than a one person making the decision. So I think that's a big part of it. And then the third part of it, I think, is the 49ers. I'm really excited to see what they could do to Leeds if we get promoted.
Mm-hmm.
They're already supposed to be not building, but extending our stadium to like a 60,000 seater, which would be huge because trying to get a ticket at Leeds right now is impossible.
He said the same thing, the fellow last week for Aston Villa. They're
Yep.
trying to get their stadium big, and now they're up there. And he
Everyone
said
is,
they said you can't get the tickets, and they cost a fortune. I mean,
you look at the price of tickets or just the size of stadiums, and you look in England compared to like an NFL stadium. The NFL just has much larger.
I've lived there for 30 years, and I don't know how anybody back in England affords the local, your regular average Joe could afford to go to a game every week. I don't know how they do it. I wouldn't even know what anyone gets paid in England.
These days right now.
I mean, maybe that's gone from fucking £5 an hour. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been out of England for like 12 years, so I would have no idea. But I mean, if you're looking at a season ticket, comparatively to NFL, it's pittance, right? Because NFL season tickets, you have to buy the seat, and you have to buy the ticket, and
forget
all this type of stuff. I don't
Especially,
understand at all.
For a bigger team, forget about it.
Yeah, it's thousands and tens of thousands. Just the parking alone is ridiculous.
Oh my God, parking at any stadium, and then just forget about NFL. It's such a chore.
You look at the Premier League. Okay, outside of London, if like up north, you're probably looking maybe it'll hit £1,000, but generally it's around the £700 level. I think
You literally couldn't park at most NFL stadiums for a year for that price.
So you start kind of. It's not really comparable because NFL is ridiculous. Good. Yeah. Stay down south.
He said stay over there. So
you wouldn't like it.
No. So I wouldn't understand them.
Let's dive into this season a little bit. At the table right now, Ipswich with 40 games played, 87. Leeds with 40 games played at 86. Leicester with 39 games played and 85.
Yeah.
2 get guaranteed promotion.
Is it 3, isn't it? Or is it 2?
Two guaranteed, and then,
and then 3, 4, 5, 6 play in the playoff, right? So if Leicester win their game in hand...
I made a mistake because I was looking at Wrexham. Wrexham's division.
Correct.
3 go
yes.
up.
Yes.
That's 3, and then there's a fourth one for a playoff place.
So let's say Leicester win their game in hand, and it's 87, 88, 86, 6 games to play left. How confident are you that you make that top 2?
Oh God, I'm not going to answer that. I will say is
that was a nervous laugh.
Yeah, that was the second I brought up the standings, I could tell he got a little.
So here's the thing. This is typical Leeds, right?
Yeah.
We are on track to earn around about 98 to 100 points. Something
Insane
like that,
season.
Right?
Yeah.
Insane. Like in any other season on record in the Championship, we would already likely be promoted. Never mind, fighting for
you'd be playing.
Yeah.
Like the academy at this point, literally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It should by now. 6 games to go. We should be, clear.
But this also is a testament to how good the quality in the championship is, because again, names like Leeds and Leicester don't belong in the championship, do they? At the end of the day, Leicester's won a Premier League recently, from not that long ago.
Yep.
And these Ipswich as well, another big name. Southampton right below you. I mean, there's a bit of a gap, but these are big names for the championship.
I think Southampton losing against Ipswich, which by the way, Ipswich scored in the 97th minute, which is what they're doing every fucking week. It's driving everyone.
Okay, you
insane.
say you didn't score in the 89th minute.
No,
you didn't get a
89th and 97th.
89 minute penalty yesterday, and you're like, but these guys over
it's
there.
It's okay for us to do that. Okay,
but not someone else like me with Arsenal. I'm like, if it's us, whatever. So go on. Sorry.
And I think them losing to Ipswich,
I
think that probably puts them too far back now. So they
Agreed.
probably are
playoff
focused. From our perspective, it's honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That's how I feel about the Premier League title race too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's the same thing. Everybody is literally the exact same case. Everyone is within a point of or Liverpool's two.
What is your running like the next games? Not that it matters, because we just had Burnley and we got fucking turned over more.
I think I saw a graphic 2 games ago, so this was when we had 8 games to go, and ours, we had something like an average in the table of like 14th, and we were theoretically the easiest.
Yeah, but
it's we're talking
theory can only take you so far, right?
We're talking I think Ipswich was like 12th and Leicester's were 13th, so it was very, very close.
If I was a Leeds fan, and you like to say we've only got them and we got that, it's easy. I don't want an easy one. You're better off playing the top teams, and then you're.
Here's the thing for me too: is I look at Arsenal's run, and it's we have Everton at home on the last day, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, it's Everton, it's whatever. what if they're fighting for relegation?
Yep.
Like, what if that game means something to them? They will go so much harder in that last game than they would had we come up against them in December, November, maybe even January,
what's
right?
your derby game? Would that be...
Oh, multiple. I mean,
United.
the biggest is the Man United game. If you're thinking like
No,
a
now,
local,
at the moment, in your division.
in our division, you've got Huddersfield, Sheffield Wednesday, both not doing great. But funnily enough,
Wednesday about to go down. I know they're doing a
they're all
relegation.
close to going
Yeah.
down.
It's
but
really
Wednesday have
tight
had a
on
good
both sides of the table.
Wednesday have had a good couple of games. So I think they've kind of gone up a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
very, very. I mean, you talk about the top of the table. Look at the bottom of the table.
That's the same with the
bottom
Premier
nine
League too,
could
right
go.
now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. There's like 5 teams, and it's
Yeah.
like any single one you could drop. It's so exciting, honestly.
I mean, the game yesterday against Hull, that's only 45 minutes away. So, Sunderland isn't too far away. Middlesbrough's not too far away.
it's good to see Sunderland back in the Championship.
It is,
good
yeah,
to see
yeah.
them back in the Championship.
It is, and we still got. I think we play them next. I think.
Really?
No, it's
Do
Coventry then Sunderland.
you go to the Stadium of Light, or is
Yeah,
that,
we. No, I think it's at home.
is it
I think
home?
it's
That's
at
big.
home.
That's big
I
for y'all
think-
because that's a tough
Yes,
road
that is
game.
tough.
That's
They
a
actually
tough-
beat us. They beat us the last game. But here's the funny thing is.
They got hammered the other day, didn't they? Sunderland,
Yes, they
5-1
did.
or
Yeah,
something. wasn't
5-1
it?
or so. So here's the thing. I think we prefer to play teams that are more open and more willing to try and beat us. Like Hull, okay, yesterday was a tough game, especially the first half, but they went to the win.
Second half,
they
it
had
opened
to
up.
win.
It was
Yeah,
back
it
and
opened
forth.
up.
Yeah.
Whereas when we've been playing the teams like Sheffield Wednesday or Huddersfield was a good one. We've prior to a few games ago, we won I think 9 in a row, and the 10th game was Huddersfield at Huddersfield. They're fighting for their lives. By all metrics, we should have beaten them, and it was a tie. It was a
But
one.
they were just sitting back,
Low
Yeah,
trying to wake on the break.
and they were fouling. They were slowing down as much as they could do to just disrupt us.
How
as
can
much as
Leeds
possible.
fans say another team was fouling? It's in your.
It's a disgrace.
No,
It's-
I remember
when
you.
they do it, it's a disgrace.
It's different when it's
we do
yours.
it.
Yeah,
It's
that's
different when
different.
it's yours. Like how you talk about Chelsea, right? It's like, oh, perfect for us,
We're
but
not
no one
talking about
else.
Chelsea. I've told you that once.
Yeah, well, you keep bringing them up.
Right.
You keep mentioning the game this weekend. It's like you kind of want to talk about it.
But here's the thing: when you look at some of our results this season, Sheffield Wednesday at home, we drew 0-0. Should have beaten them. We got beat by Birmingham really early in the season. We've struggled against the teams which you'd think expect us to beat, just because I think of the tactics that they play.
But that's what it is. If you're one of the best teams in your league, it's like you'll probably find it as Arsenal now. You'll be playing teams now, and they just
Every
sit
week,
back. You've got to get past
every
11 players.
single week, it's
Yeah.
a low block until we score, and then like for instance, like
Yeah,
I told you our past games against
Once
West
you
Ham
break
on
it
the
down
road.
and you get that goal,
West Ham on the
opens
road.
it up, or it should
They
do.
were putting numbers back. We score a corner. We scored 5 more right after.
Yep.
Sheffield, they put 10 behind the ball. We score our first goal. We score 4
Sheffield
more
United
after.
could put 20 behind the fucking ball. That wouldn't matter, would
Yeah,
it?
after they they blew another 2-goal lead this weekend. We'll touch on that earlier, but
I saw that. Yeah, 3-0.
but yeah, playing a low block is so frustrating. And then people watch Arsenal Man City this weekend, like, oh, it's so boring. It's like, no, those are just 2 coaches that are really sound defensively and know that if you open up, it starts defensively. So you have to start there and then you can build. But if you don't have that foundation, to be fair, you got to get points.
What is Leeds' last game? Did you say
Southampton at home.
Oh
Southampton?
man,
So that could be huge. Well, hopefully Southampton will hopefully touch wood
Yeah.
out of it. But that's probably the toughest game left. Certainly toughest home game
Yeah.
left. And if it goes down to the last game, oh god, I'm not going to be able to.
I'm about to say
It's also at 6:30 on a Saturday, so you need to
Oh.
make sure you open the place up at
No,
6.
we don't.
that is so early for such a stressful event.
Oh
You're
yeah,
like-
when they moved all the games to 12:30 in England, 6:30
Yeah.
on a Saturday.
So do you come here to watch the games a lot?
Yeah, so myself.
Well, normally
and-
it's on a Friday actually, because sometimes
Yeah, I
they'll
would
do
say
it when it's a big
Championship's
game
different.
on and they want Leeds there or in the
We-
back room. But usually it hasn't clashed so much this year.
The problem is that Leeds are on TV all the time, and so like literally all the time. So
Yeah.
they've always moved our games, and so we've got a game Saturday at 9 a.m. this weekend.
Yeah.
And that's the first 9 a.m. Saturday game in a long
Have they
time.
all been
Yeah.
early then?
They're
or-
always like Sunday at 6. And look, I don't even want to ping you and say to you, can you
Yeah.
open up on a Sunday at 6?
Well,
By the
I
way,
think-
you can't serve alcohol, and we just got to sit there.
And
I
we
mean,
do. I mean, the Villa fans said,
It has
if
happened, yeah.
somebody really I'm opening this Sunday at 6 o'clock for the Glasgow Rangers fans.
Yeah.
There you go.
We don't earn. We
You
can't
don't earn
serve
money.
any.
Yep.
Can't serve
Yeah.
booze.
Can't
I'm
serve.
not getting the kitchen in.
Yeah.
Yep.
For,
Yep.
But you'll have them come in.
12 people at 6:30 in the morning, especially a load of fucking jocks. Fuck off.
Yeah. So we do have to wrap up here, and I hate to put you back on the spot, but
No, go.
I need your top 3. I need you to tell me how this championship
it's gonna
season
be fun.
finishes.
Oh, Jesus.
Give me
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
All right. I'm going to say Leeds top, Ipswich second, Leicester third.
Wow, Leicester, the team that would control their own destiny right now, because Leicester has the chance to run the table.
Yeah, but they've not been doing well, have they? They've thrown a few.
They had like, what, 10-point gap at some point this season?
There was 17 points
17, something insane, and now look where they are. If they win their game in hand, they're 1 point at the top,
Didn't
right?
Blackburn do that one year in the old first division? I think they were like
Came
17.
I think Reading did it. Reading did it under Brian. What was the ball guy? Brian, who used to manage Leeds as well. Brian McDermott. They were 18 points behind, and then they got to the top. So I don't know. Look, for me right now, I look at Leeds. We just seem very well. Last 2 games, maybe not so much, but up until that, we just seem really solid, like a machine. We just
you think
seem
the nerves are kicking in at this stage.
Maybe
of the season,
a little bit, but we've also
It has to.
the international break was a big deal. A lot of our players played. We got like 2 or 3 injuries coming back. So I think we can now. We've got a rest for a few days.
Yeah.
Let's see how we do. Ipswich, they just continually seem to just get a goal right at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's saying, "Oh, their luck's going to run out. Their luck's going to run out." Well, it's not yet, and we've got 6 games left. Leicester, they've got the issue with the FFP in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They've got issue this year with the championship as well. The football league. I think maybe they're getting nervy. So who knows? If I was going to choose right now, that's what I'd choose. I'm always going to put Leeds top.
Of course, yeah.
You know, but I'd say Leicester looks like the nerviest ones right now.
Is Leicester, yeah. It's crazy. They're
Make
the
a
most,
phone call.
The most
Make
destiny.
a phone call, okay? If he's still alive, get Joe Jordan back. Okay, that's...
How about bring Eddie Gray? He's still alive.
Yeah, you said his what's it, nephew or second cousin
his
playing
great
Archie
nephew or
Gray?
something like that.
Yeah.
So Archie Gray's really interesting. He just turned 18. Just came back from England under 21. He had 2 games. Scored in the first game. Assisted in the second game. Yeah, Archie Gray. Yeah. He's been playing right back for us. Played in the middle. Yesterday.
I'd say he was midfield yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah, but his dad played for Leeds. His uncle played for Leeds. His great uncle.
So he's your
played
next.
for Leeds.
He's your next true boy of the team, right?
He looks really good, and we Leeds have got a good history of bringing through young talent. He looks to be
No, I saw
among
yesterday.
some of the best.
I saw yesterday he committed a foul and immediately started giving shit to the ref, and I was like, proper player.
At 18
man.
years old.
Like probably,
The
like that.
balls and you're 18 years
this
old.
kid's just screaming at the ref, like proper kid right there.
Yeah.
All right, last question for you before we have to wrap up.
Come on.
If Leeds get promoted, who is your dream signing this summer?
Oh my god!
Like
dream signing.
in like I'm not like, oh, they're gonna get KD.
You know what?
Like in realistic.
Bring Rafinha back.
I would love
bring
that.
Rafinha back.
He was the guy that I was thinking too.
He's not having such a great time at Barca. They probably saw his money. There may be some
They
deal
need
to be
some
made
money,
there.
yeah.
You know what? Bring Phillips back too. He's having a shit time. Come home.
Phillips,
Come home,
you would
Calvin.
take him. You would take him.
I would probably take him. You know, just. I think if you play him the right way, I think he can get back. I do think he was unlucky. The penalty the other day. I don't think it was a penalty either. I cannot believe that went to VAR and
Chelsea
still
wouldn't take him.
Well, who?
He had your fucking
Chelsea don't
chance.
have room.
He had his chance.
Chelsea have room.
He had his
players.
chance and he turned it down, so you can go fuck off.
You talking about Rafinha?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
we were after Rafinha too, and then Barca was
we don't
his
beg
dream.
for anybody.
Mate, you guys have got you've got so many people in, all on like 12-year contracts. You have any room to bring anybody in. So
Well, so if you get Conor Gallagher, we're gonna get rid of him.
Everyone always
everyone always says
every Chelsea fan wants to
Go to
sell.
the FFP
He's the
bag.
first one cut anytime a
Only
Chelsea
because
fans
it's
decide to sell
full profit.
someone.
It's all to do
Yeah,
with
it's
the
all
books
FFP.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
he's
shame because he
academy.
loves the club and the fans love him.
He's England
But,
international.
You know.
Yeah.
But,
Anyways, well, Niki, thank you for your time here,
Thanks for
man,
having
and
me.
best
It's
of
been
luck to Leeds the rest of the season. We'll be rooting you on. Hopefully, see you in the Premier League next year, man.
Sweet, thanks, man.
All right, thanks, John.
and then
Okay.
straight back down again. We get the fans on here, and I'm sitting here, and they say in 1982 or 2001, and they give me the date, the time. They know their stuff
It's about
their
it.
teams. I don't. I'm a Chelsea fan. I really couldn't give you a year. I knew we won the FA Cup the first time they won it. I can't remember what fucking year.
Yeah, no,
I mean, but they know it all, the year, the time, the date. I mean,
This is it. This is people's this is what they do. This is their not livelihood, but this is their when I'm not working, this is what they care about.
well, maybe it's because you've all got fucking computers now. You can
That's
read
true.
about it. You can sit in bed everywhere you
Stats
go.
are
You
tracked
can
way different.
listen to it. When I was years ago, we used to see the game after that. You'd be in the paper the next day, and that was it.
You get the box
Gone and
score in the
forgotten.
paper.
Gone
That's
and
it.
forgotten.
Yeah, no, it is a
That's it.
different era, but we do have Wanker of the Week coming up. But is there anything else that you wanted to mention, Barry?
Yeah, I was talking to someone because I talk about the market and it's street life. It's street life, absolutely. And I always talk because I got taught how to cheat when I give change. I got taught how to cheat. I got taught how to steal boxes of fucking fruit when I'm down the market where I buy the stuff. But it's not just that. It's city life. There's a fellow that he passed away a good few years ago. His name was Flattop, and Flattop was in the construction.
Yeah.
He was a carpenter by trade,
Yeah.
and he was telling me that because no matter what city you go in, you've got to be careful. You've got to be alert.
Yeah.
You're going to get scams from anybody. It's not just
Everybody,
people
yeah.
in the market that shortchange
No, it's all over.
Everybody. I mean, it doesn't matter any walk of life. There's always
Yeah.
someone ready to scam. And Flattop was telling me that he had this job, and it was this fella owned 5 houses, all a row of houses, and he needed to get the chimneys repointed, which is filling the concrete in the
Yeah.
bricks again.
Yeah.
And he said it was about 4 stories up, and he said the fella got bid. He said I think about £6,000. He said I bid him £3,000,
Damn.
and he said because he's a greedy bastard, he took it.
Yeah.
He said, anyway, so they went up there, and he said, and we got the ladders and the scaffolding, and we gone up there, and we got it done. Anyway, the geezer's given the 3,000. He said, do you want to come up and check? And he said, no. He said, I knew the fella weren't going to climb up the ladders.
Yeah.
He said, I knew he weren't going to. He said, no, he said, they look good. Anyway, a week later, Flattop got a phone call. It had been raining all night,
Oh no.
and the chimneys that he'd repointed, it was all peeling off. He wrapped it in brick wallpaper.
Like wallpaper.
It was wallpaper.
Oh my
he
God.
wrapped it on
So
there.
you
That's
just
all
made
he did.
it look nice.
No, it looked brilliant from the floor
Yeah, of
until
course,
it rained.
yeah, of
It was
course.
all peeling off. He said the fella's
Oh.
called me trying to get his free bucket. Is it trying? He didn't get it back.
Yeah, I'd say I don't think that 3,000 is coming back. That's
But
something-
you get scams in all walks of life.
you do.
So-
You totally do.
Yeah,
Alright, so
and Flattop was proud of that, and I don't
that's-
blame him,
that's a
man.
good-
I
yeah.
don't blame him.
I do want to wrap our talk up with Wanker of the Week. I know we chatted a little bit off camera. We both have many options for this. Would you like-
Give him your wanker of the week. On.
I'm going to go with Emma Hayes, the head coach of Chelsea women's team. They lost the cup final to Arsenal this week. And in the end, Arsenal's coach went out to shake hands, and she two-hand shoved him back in a way in anger. And I just thought that was very classless, very fitting for Chelsea.
You're just like you're tipped. You can see you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
What have you done straight away? You've picked on a woman, just like your Arsenal
Picked
coach.
on a woman.
Picked on a woman.
Arsenal's coach picked on the woman.
He's picked on a woman.
Yeah, we beat
Hey?
her up a little bit. 1-0, baby. Cup final. Let's go.
Oh, the fucking League Cup and the Women's League Cup. That's even worse than the Men's League Cup.
Something that you couldn't win.
Hey, we don't need it. We're
Yeah,
still
for
in
sure.
Europe.
She looks like she
We're
won
still
it.
in Europe. I think
She-
we got.
we're still
I
here.
think we're the
Your
Champions
women's
League-
team's in Europe.
Champions League.
Yeah, you are. Semifinals actually the Champions
Hey, you
League.
wait when she comes and manages the American USA women's team.
Yeah.
You're gonna love her.
Of course I will. That's
Right,
different.
then.
That's way different.
So stop picking on her.
The other one I'll say, I feel like I say it every week. I don't even want to call it Ten Hag, but like Ten Hag again, his post-match interviews, he just never takes responsibility. Never like when other managers come out to say this is my team, this is my fault, we should have played better. But Ten Hag is so quick to point to someone and blame someone, whether it be the refs, whether it be a player, whether it be an event that happened months ago in the league. Right? It's just so I get secondhand embarrassment from watching him do it personally. Because like if my manager did that, I'd be fuming. Like if you can't sit up there like a
I
man.
actually think the more I'm looking at, I think he's going to be out at the end of the year.
I don't
think he's in
want
for
him
next
to.
year.
I don't want him
with
to.
with the new ownership.
I've
or
seen a
part
lot of. I've
ownership.
seen so we'll see.
Yeah.
But those are mine. I feel like I pick on him every week, but it really is infuriating.
So
to
if
see them do
Ten
that.
Hag's out, okay, so
Yeah.
obviously they're going to they get their new manager. I know who they're trying
Southgate's
to get. They're going to
one
get.
of the names I've
So
seen,
who are
yeah.
Arsenal going to get as manager?
Arteta forever, baby.
No, he's going to Man United. You know
Is he?
that.
Yeah,
of course he is.
Yeah, well, yeah, Rio.
Why would you stick at Arsenal when you can manage Man United?
Yeah, did you remember Rio Ferdinand saying that?
A billion fans all over the world.
Rio
according to Dave
Ferdinand
from
saying
London.
that Man United is more attractive than Arsenal right now? Yeah, right, buddy. Yeah, right. Arteta has put Arsenal into the elite category of Europe, built it himself in his first managerial role as a former player. Yeah, he's sticking around.
My wanker of the week.
Yeah,
And I'm going to say this. It's going back a couple of weeks ago. I think we had St Patrick's Day.
he did.
So we had St Patrick's Day, and we had a fellow in a kilt with the bagpipes, and I had some fellow next to me said, "Oh, he's good." Fucking, how the fuck do you tell if a bagpiper is good or bad?
Dude, was he playing yet?
Of course he was playing, but how the fuck it sounds like a fucking cat being murdered?
It's all the
How
same
You
sounds.
cannot fucking listen to a bagpiper when you're not even Irish or Scottish or fuck knows what. Oh, he's good.
So
How
this
would you know if he was fucking bad? You
This
wouldn't.
random guy.
Yeah,
is
so
your wanker of the week?
whoever he is, he's the
Oh my
wanker
god, I
of
love that. Mr. Bagpipes out
the week.
there.
Fuck me.
Is that
Anyway.
anybody else?
Yeah,
Do you have
no,
any
that's
extras?
it.
Just that?
That's it.
Thanks, guys.
See you later.